This is Eddie checking in.
This is Gage checking in, and this is Two Boys Podcast, the recovery episode.
Yeah, the comeback episode.
Yeah, the comeback episode indeed. We tried recording an episode yesterday, but I forgot to hit record, and it was also really rushed, so that'll
you should
be...
throw in like a clip of when we realize that we fucked up.
Yeah, we'll insert clip right here. Okay, that's all you get to see because that is going to be thrown into the deepest reaches of the vault and will only come out if we really are desperate for money.
Yeah.
So check us out when our bank account hits zero and nobody's listening to this anyways. So
that's fine.
Just kidding. Everyone out there who's listening.
I always like to go through our channel because our first recorded episode for YouTube.
The pilot episode?
Yeah. Has,
for YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, has the most views.
Wow.
It has like 34.
And we've dropped off since then.
Yeah. I don't know what the second highest is. I think it might be like 7 or 8.
You know what Eddie says? Jesus. You know what you always said? No. Well, you know what Gary says? The clip from Gary V just resurfaced of that little kid at that Q&A. He's like, hey, Gary, I'm 13 years old. I'm on a video game channel. Or I stopped playing fucking around with video games. No, he didn't say fucking around, but you know. And then he's talking about a subscriber count. And then Gary's like, looking around the room. He's like, well, we don't have to worry about that now, do we?
Yeah.
And then he's like but don't focus on the number. Like, focus on your content and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I just love those Gary V little snippets. Especially the Fox and Friends one that came up again. Where he's talking about the Fox and Friends people were like, social media is poisonous. Like, bullying, things like that, blah, 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 blah. And Gary's like, no, your mommy just didn't say she loved you enough, and I need to be there to be your daddy and tell you, like, you can do what you want to do, and, like, I believe in you. Yeah. He's like, most people who come to me are just asking permission to do the things they already want to do, and they just want encouragement to do it. Yeah. He's like, well, I don't think that's what it really is saying, and ba-ba-da-da-da, this, ba-da-that. And he's like, don't be that old guy who said Elvis shaking his hips was the devil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But anyways, you can find us on social media. You can find Eddie at Serfurn, SERFURN, and myself at Gage _ shit. I fuck it up literally every single time.
Gage
at garbage _ man _ Gage for thrifts, finds, flips, and grinds.
Yes, sir.
On
today's episode.
Previously.
Yeah, actually, okay, so, what we were trying to talk about last episode.
Yes.
I mean, we were talking about the welfare system, but that's like...
We were, but then we came back on track and then realized that it wasn't recording,
yeah.
So.
But I was talking about how... this is the now. But, so recently I got laid off my upholstery job, which, like, really fucking sucked. And my boss was really, really sad to let me go. But it's kind of like... You know how you talk about in the marketplace, like if you don't have enough like skills, then you're not as valuable in the marketplace. So like that's my position because I was only like a furniture stripper there. So like once they started to get more clients that wanted customized work, which meant the building of new furniture and getting that done by other people in the shop, that meant that, you know, stripping wasn't available for me to do. And like they didn't have the time or the workforce to like supplement like or have somebody like teach me some stuff.
Yeah. So
they unfortunately had to let me go. So it was really, really, really shitty. And just like wave after wave of other things, like, you know, like I had to pay for Clover's vet bills, and then I had to like get my wisdom teeth out like in a rush, and my insurance couldn't cover it, so like I had to dish out a whole bunch of money, and like now I'm back in credit card debt. But it's like,
let's take a step back though. Finish your thing, sorry, because I have a different perspective on this, so
it's like it feels like a downward spiral, and like I feel like I'm in a slump. But I guess some silver lining things were, well, one, like right when I got laid off, like how I talked to you about Ken's offer about the chairs, like I accepted that offer, and like right now I'm actually currently working on his chairs, so that like that's good.
There you go.
And then I guess just another big part of it was just to kind of like start picking myself back up, because like where Gage sits, that's usually where I put like all my finds and thrifts that like have to be posted, and they were just sitting there for like week after week, and I was like remove them if you were come over, but like we haven't done episodes in a little bit, so like they've been sitting there.
Yeah.
And then I was like bummed, and like I went back to my old self. I was like, I don't have any money, and like how am I gonna do this? And then I look over in my chair and I was like, dude, like the money's like literally sitting right there. Go
Oh,
fuck.
thanks, Eddie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go
I think of myself as
go
priceless.
fucking post and make some money. So
Hell yeah, boy.
so, I'm starting to pick myself back up, getting back on the horse and, just not kicking myself.
You take your horse to the old town road.
Yeah, gotta take him back.
You're gonna
Get
ride
my gun.
till you can't.
Oh,
Have you heard
yeah.
that song, the
No.
crossover?
No.
I think fuck it. Forgive my ignorance, but there's a very famous, now we're probably dating ourselves, like the first major crossover of rap and country. Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X, I think. or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I've heard
whatever.
I've
Fucking young. I don't,
heard
I
of
don't, I'm
it
so
very,
ignorant when it
very,
comes to
very
music.
vaguely.
But it's like, I'm gonna take my. He's like, I got horses in the back. Like, talk about his Lamborghini. I don't fucking know, but it's weird. Anyways, not to detract or to diminish, but yeah, Eddie's going through his slump, and but I think we didn't get a chance to talk about it. We didn't get a chance to talk about it on the podcast, but right before this happened, right before he had to put money onto his credit card, Eddie had just finished paying off his credit card bill. So I think that in and of itself is like a huge victory.
It is.
Like, that was awesome. And even though you had to put money back on, and like I was telling Eddie before when he told me this, I'm like, look, dude, you've come back from so much worse now. You've like, got the weights off of your body now, so you know how to come back.
Yeah.
Like, you've already paid off so much more credit card debt than you could think of or you'd ever want on your shoulders. So this will not be nothing. You'll know.
Yeah.
This is a path well traveled. It's going to sting a little bit, but who fucking cares? Because you know you can cover it.
Yeah, in comparison, like the amount, the credit that's owed is like a footnote from like the worst it was.
Oh, yeah, and then like a little update for me too. I fucking hit $1,000 in my savings.
Boom. Nice. Good job.
Yes. And mind you, I've never, I mean, besides me being a little kid, but I soon just put that in the checkings. I've never really had a savings account. You know what I mean? And it makes me think about like preparing yourself. Like, you are ready for this moment. Think about Eddie like 5 years ago. No, legitimately, like 5 years. If you rewind the clock 5 years ago, Eddie, you 5 years ago, besides not having as much swoles,
I'm actually really sore right now.
well, it's because you work so fucking hard,
I
bud.
know.
But 5 years ago, Eddie, you wouldn't have been able to handle any of this. You know, back to back with Clover, having to pay for Clover bills, your wisdom teeth, and then also losing that part of your income. You probably would have turned to more devastating means.
Yeah.
You know, and this is obviously before you even tried like refinancing your student loans or anything like that. So you would have fucked yourself. So now that it might seem like a lot now, but know that you're also so much stronger to be able to withstand this kind of and become stronger because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm proud of you because you have like showed immense financial strength, you know. And that's the thing too. It's like you don't have to have a lot of money to know what to do with it.
Yeah.
You know, I keep saying this over and over again because I'm realizing it more and more. Chloe's fucking munching on that bone.
You're fucking putting dents in that bone.
But money is a tool. And we were just talking about on the Vaults episode, Kevin Hart's interview with Joe Rogan. And I love that interview because Eddie brought up a great point, which is that Kevin Hart started off as a comedian, but now he's claimed by so many different groups of people for so many different things. He is a businessman who started multiple businesses under his name. You know, he has like Heartbeat Productions, Heartbeat. He just started a supplement company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's going into real estate, so it's like
Financial education.
yeah, for on our level, even though like I started watching his comedy and I loved, I thought he was a super energetic, funny dude, very much like that, like Cat Williams, that like hype, that energy. Yeah. I love that. But I admire him much more now for his desire to educate the people from the neighborhoods he came from about financial literacy, which is stuff that we talk about all the time. And then I try to stress on as many people in my life, in my inner circle. I'm telling my little brother, like, get a little credit card now, earn some credit, and then just dump it. Like, use it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, build up that credit, then get rid of it. Never use it again. Just earn those points, and then fucking be done with it. I'm like, keep putting away money. Like, I know you have money, so just put a little away. It's going to not only stave you from making impulsive decisions because you're putting it in a do not touch box,
Mm-hmm.
but also that do not touch box will soon become a I need it box. And
Yeah.
like a I need it with a capital N,
Yeah.
need it. And Eddie turned me on to that. And without Eddie, I wouldn't have savings right now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like you think, well, I'm not gonna spend that money. I'm gonna save it in my checkings account. No, 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 no.
No,
Because
no.
when that shit is washed in with the rest of your general accounting, you mentally are not gonna keep that. You're gonna see it all comes down to an emotional response when you open up your bank app and you look at a number. And when you see that number is low, then you start spending less. I think
Yep.
it's funny that way. Even though like I'm still trying to improve my mentality about money, I have to like also treat myself like a child sometimes and
Yeah.
be like, okay, we're gonna hold on to your money now, and we're not like, gonna let you play with it
That-
until you can
That's
actually
some
like.
shit my mom like used to do.
Yeah.
Just like when I got like any type of money from any relative or like just found money on the street, she was like, "Oh, I can hold it for you." I was like, "No."
Yeah.
But like my mom was like a one-way bank account. Like I would give her the money, but I would never see it again.
Damn
so.
dog.
But yeah, but no, like I totally agree, man. Just financial literacy. It's really nice because I like to see where all my money is coming from. So and where it's going. Clover, cue Clover drinking water.
No, but now with these microphones, we don't have to worry about such
Oh,
background
yeah.
noises being so interruptive. I mean, it's still you'll hear the.
So it was like there's a good quote I heard. It was like tell your money where to go so you don't wonder where it went.
Damn, dude, what is this slam poetry?
Yeah.
Fucking slam, bro.
And so like that got me thinking, because when I
Tell
first
your
got
money
Clover, I got like my own separate checking account for
Yeah.
her because I
Aw,
wanted to
that's
separate.
adorable.
Yeah, but now I'm so like I understand how to use my money really well to the point where like my money's always divvied up in certain ways where I know like I always have some money like stashed away for her.
Yeah.
So like I have 3 accounts. One is my checkings, one is savings, and then one is my I call it e-billing account. So like that's all my bills, my things that are gonna get like spent like on a daily month
Yeah.
to month. All that money goes there. So I kind of just drop it and just forget it because I know that like is when people are like, oh, it's the first of the month, like now I have to. But like for me, it's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
oh, it's the first of the month. Click a button, boom.
Yep.
There goes the money. And then like I have my PayPal account and that's really all the other accounts that I have.
Yeah, I use my PayPal for rent because we have like a collective rent thing for us. For our building, we pay to one person, that one person pays the rent. So I actually started doing that with like my rent is once I know I have enough money where if I take it out for my rent, once I know I have enough money for that rent and I don't have to worry about it like breaking the bank or like, with paychecks and stuff, I'll just take it out. The first inkling of like, oh, I can pay rent for next month, I'll take it out and put it in my PayPal account. First of all, because it takes time to process moving from bank account to PayPal. And I've run into that where like first of the month was after February and it was like on a weekend, so it took a long time and it was
Yeah.
super stressful hearing from the person every week, like, or every day, not every week, I'm not that bad, every day, like, where's the money, I'm like, okay, I just transferred it, they took it out of my bank but they didn't put it in the fucking PayPal. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You see, what happened is I have a savings and a checking.
Cue Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I wanted playing that back to him, and now
Yeah.
he's the fucking richest dude ever. How he's talking about he can't ball with LeBron, he can't ball with Shaq or whatever about going out to these restaurants, and now he's fucking owning the restaurants.
Yeah, I
probably.
know, right? Hey.
But my point is, once you know you have the money for things that you know are gonna happen every month, it's not a fucking surprise. So stop acting like it is. Because it's only a surprise if you don't prepare for it.
Yeah.
So I put that money aside, and then I'm like, oh man, rent's coming up, and then it's kind of the flip side of that is you're excited because you're like, shit, I already put away the money and I have this much money. You're looking at the number and you're like, that's kind of low, but you're like, oh wait, I don't even have to worry about rent for next month.
Exactly.
It's almost like you paid yourself, but you're
yeah.
giving it to future Eddie, or you're giving it to future Gage
Yeah.
to take care of it for what you need to take care
So
of.
like when I get my check from work, I immediately divvy it up like, okay, X amount is for rent, food, blah, X amount is for loans, and then I put that all into my e-billing account, and then I'm left with whatever's left in my checkings. I was like, all right, and the only thing I don't subtract from my checkings is like food for the weeks,
Yeah.
because like I gotta eat, and then I see that hard number. I was like, okay, this is what I have for the next. I get paid bi-weekly, unfortunately. this is what I have for the next 2 weeks, and like now I have that hard number versus just having everything in one lump sum account, and then like having to always like keep tabs on like the overall number versus the gross number versus the net number that you're looking at.
Yeah.
And you know that's like I don't know, it like gives me a lot of peace of mind because like now if I do recklessly spend my money, is not going to affect my bills because like is in a separate account. So you know, you're kind of just giving yourself more peace of mind knowing that you're just being disciplined with your money and just being more responsible with it.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely more disciplined now than I was before because like I don't go out to eat,
Yeah.
I just don't. Like the last time I went out to the bar was with one of my roommates and she was
I
like
don't go to bars.
she was
Fuck
like
that.
I've never like as long as I've lived here you have not gone out to the
I don't
bar
even
with
like
me.
drinking. That like I think that I've saved
Yeah.
myself by not having a lot of vices. So I don't like drinking.
Like I don't buy clothes. Oh, well, mine is going to the
Yeah.
thrift store. But even then now, like that changes because like
Save your money,
I
bro.
technically don't pay for my clothes anymore because us flipping and making money through thrifting like supplements my do you
No,
understand?
sorry. I just remembered I have to return something to Marshalls. I tried flipping
Oh,
a
yeah?
pair of Air Force Ones.
Oh, and it didn't work out?
I think it's coming up on a month soon, which is their
Oh,
30-day
okay.
return policy for actually getting money, not just store credit. So
Oh,
I'm trying to
yeah.
get money back onto my PayPal account.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
cool.
saying? Like it hasn't worked out, and I'm not gonna drop it anymore because the margins are gonna be like fucking nothing. If I sell it for any less, the margins are. I'm already pushing razor thin margins compared to the comps. So I gotta return those soon. I just can't forget because the receipt's in it with the shoe, and I
Okay.
didn't set like a timer or a reminder or anything. So
Yeah.
when I go home, I have to make sure to
Interesting.
set that aside so I can bring them to work to go return them.
Yeah.
As part of my errands.
Definitely do that.
Give myself some money back because it's literally 0% loss. I
Yeah.
get all of that back except for the 5 cents I paid for the fucking bag. Kicking myself that I forgot to get fucking bag that day.
Yeah, like right now I have a pair of Air Jordan 1s that I'm trying to sell on Goat, and I'm not gonna get a lot of money back. Like, I'm gonna get my
Net.
full investment back.
Yeah.
Like the money I put in to buy the shoes, but I'm gonna make like $10 afterwards. But it doesn't matter because like
It's the
you know,
experience.
it's better breaking even than losing. So
yeah, for
just
sure.
fun
And
fact
at
about
that,
that.
you know, when you get far enough along, even some amount of profit is still like breaking even because you think
Yeah.
about the time that you spent, and also like what margins you're aiming for.
Yeah.
But even hey, fuck it, $10 is $10, and you break even,
is,
and you
it
have
is.
some experience
I
under
always,
you.
yeah, I always like to like look at it hourly. It was like, all right, well, how much did I make in terms of like hourly pay?
Yeah.
And if it's like under minimum wage, I'm like, oh, all right. But at the same time, when it's a side gig or like your side hustle,
Yeah.
like those $2-3 at a time kind of add up really fast.
Yeah, no shit. And you gotta start somewhere.
Mhm.
And it, you know.
And then like same thing because I follow Rally Roots again. Shout out to Rally Roots. They like made up a really really great point about flipping and thrifting. They had this question on Instagram through their story,
Yeah.
and they were like, you have something posted on eBay for $100, but then somebody sends you a best offer of 70. Do you take it or do you wait for somebody to actually buy it for 100? And so they were like, sell it for 70 because the idea is to have your investments and getting paid like the revolving investment go through
Yeah.
faster. And so instead of you now having to wait for somebody to buy it for $100, you missed out on using those $70 to go back out, buy more stuff, and then sell those items. So like, you know, you're kind of just holding yourself up.
Yeah, your money's not really much if it doesn't have velocity.
Yeah.
You
There's
got
actually
to
a
keep
good
money
book
moving.
called the Velocity of Money.
I don't even remember that. If it's buried in my subconscious somewhere, whatever. But yeah, you know, the way I understood it too, it's like, again, savings are good because you want a little net. That net shouldn't be moving. You want that net
Yeah.
to be exact same place you want it every time. That's why it's a safety net. However, for all the rest of your money, the money you want to make work for you, you got to make it work. You have to make it move. You have to do
Yeah.
something with it. Keep it in action. Like Cardi B says, making money moves. Like
Yeah.
that's no joke. That's talking
Yeah.
about investments and
Yeah.
shit.
Other
Because if you
than
just
putting people to
stagnate
sleep,
and you
yeah.
just keep putting it in a pile and putting it in a pile and putting it in a pile, the fuck is it gonna do there besides be a pile?
Exactly.
And you get that marginal interest on it,
Yeah.
dude.
That was another thing about me getting out of the slump because I was also like, when I said I was like bled dry of all my money, like minus my bills, I was like really like blood dry. And so one thing to start like gaining my money back up is like I was being a little hard headed with people sending me best offers on eBay
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, no, like I think this is worth more than it is, blah blah blah. But like sometimes what you think and what it is like two very different things. So
Yeah.
check yourself on that.
Before you wreck
And
yourself.
and so now like I'm in a position where I was like a learning experience. It's like one like all my sales prior have paid my investments.
Yeah.
So now everything from here on out is a profit.
Yeah.
So I was like, suck it up. All right, you need the money, and also you got to like move the stuff anyways. So just take all these best offers. And like it was weird. It was like once I like accepted this one offer, like more offers started to come, and like things that I had on my eBay for a long time, all of a sudden people like started to like.
Yeah.
It was
That's
really weird.
isn't
It was
it?
really fucking weird.
There's no. Is there no? Have you heard anything about an algorithm being behind eBay?
No.
Because I know, like with YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, kind of, they have editorial algorithms that kind of are a layer over what you see. It's not just pure chronological order. Although Twitter just opened up like a button where you can undo the algorithm to see what things actually come in chronology. But it is weird that you get some streaks on eBay. You can go dead for a week, and then something's like bring, 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 bring.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask your advice on something, and since we're recording whatever, anyways, I'm talking about flipping, but
Ask Eddie. Hashtag.
I'm
Ask Eddie.
you're gonna flip a solo podcast. It's a
Yeah.
podcast. I have a bunch of shit sitting in old stock that's been in there since we started flipping, really.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, you know what? Rather than donating it, if I just slash prices significantly, make them pay for shipping every time, so I'm not losing anything on shipping.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
even on clothing or whatever, just go back in the vault and just like dig up everything and being like, look, I'm gonna slash prices by like 70%.
Yeah.
Because I just want this to fly off the shelves. First of all, it's just really annoying to come into my room every day. I don't have as much space as you do,
Yeah.
and as much like compartmentalization. So mine's kind of just pushed into a corner, pretty neatly organized. But I think I'm just gonna slash prices on everything, make them pay for shipping, so
Yeah.
that I'm covering my bases there and not losing money within the transaction. I'm still losing money because I'm not going to profit off of those things. That's just being realistic. Some of them are going to be posting for less than what I bought it for, but I'd rather just recover some money from it and take the licks and just be like, look, I learned from that.
Yeah.
So like, what do you think?
I would definitely do that
Yeah.
because especially if you have watchers on items and you know like if that watcher has been a watcher for a long time and they're like they still haven't bought it at the price that you have it set, it's always good just to drop it down.
Yeah.
And then because all of a sudden they'll like
And then probably also do no best offers. Just be like, this is what it is. I'm dropping it all the way down.
yeah you could do
And
that.
be
Also
like-
too, what's even nice, eBay just started to upload the send the best offer to
I
people.
love that they fucking
Which-
did that. On
which-
top of doing italics, bold, and underline, thank you so much, eBay. I think it's in the zeitgeist now, flipping and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So they've started to tilt their app more towards sellers again.
Yeah.
Because last time I was on the phone with eBay, and I'll let you get back to that point in just a second.
it's fine.
But last time I was on the phone with eBay, I was confronting them about, like, why the fuck this? Why the fuck that? Why the fuck the other thing? With the app, they're like, well, to be honest, we didn't really design the app for sellers, more buyers. Most of the people on the app are consumers, which is kind of frustrating because you have some apps that are like, some companies, they'll make two versions of the app, one for the people like being the producers and one for the consumers. But obviously eBay like didn't know their biggest stake in that yet. But yeah, now that they've changed that, and then also the feature to send best offers to your watchers is fucking key. Because the discretion is awesome. Because then if some big baller wants to come in and just buy it off of you, which has happened before, someone will have sent me an offer, and then some rando who wasn't even a watcher bought it. And I'm like,
Whoops.
all right, no one needs to
Fair
know.
game.
No one needs to know how much money I was willing to give away for it.
Yeah.
Fucking take it, bro.
Yeah. But I would definitely do that. Slash your prices, and if it gives you any options about sending offers to people, definitely do that.
Yeah.
And I have a rule too. If something doesn't sell within 2 months, I kind of just donate it back.
Yeah. Well,
and I've done that for a
donate it
couple.
back.
Yeah, just donate it back.
Oh, even after when? Well, then what's your first series of dropping? Then after 1 month, do you drop?
So usually it depends on the item. If eBay will do that. Oh, lower the price so you can attract more people.
Fucking hate
I
those
hate that
notifications.
because
Dude.
sometimes I've lowered the price on it by myself without their notification,
Yep.
and then that will pop up. I was like,
Fuck
"Are you
you.
serious?" So now it like
It's
pops up on
just
like my little
antagonizing.
listings. Yeah,
It makes me not want to sell
it's
there.
really fucking annoying.
It's like the annoying friends, like, well, you know, maybe it'll sell for
Yeah,
better.
well, I
It's
know.
just it's annoying because for me, I don't know for you, because you were telling me how my app looks completely different from
It
yours.
does,
Obviously,
yeah.
Android and iPhone, they look super different. But like for me, a notification from eBay will look like a square with like eBay written inside of it, very small.
Let me see my.
That'll be what the notification looks like.
Yeah.
But usually I know that one eBay square, not good. Two eBay squares is always fucking great because two eBay squares means purchase completed, and then the second one will be payment confirmed. It'll always come in pairs. So when I see two eBay notes, I'm like, fuck yes. When I see one, it makes me extremely nervous.
It like looks like that. Oh yeah, I
no,
also
I
get
mean like the
I
little
get
the
two.
badge notification at
Oh,
the top of
badge
your screen. You know what I'm
notifications?
saying?
Oh,
Like
I never get badge notifications when it says to lower. Well, actually, I do. But
but that's the thing, right? So when I get one, it makes me nervous right off the bat. I'm like, fuck, someone wants to return it because I recently got a string of returns. I gotta go on a little rant here. I'm sorry. I'll
Go
let
for
you
it.
get back
No,
to the
no,
point.
no,
So I
go
need
for
to
it.
take a breath. Okay, I found a pair of Doc Martens on the street, right?
oh yeah, I remember you telling me.
And they were brand new. Well, okay, we'll get to that. I was super excited because
They were used.
they were used. But when I looked at them, when I happened upon them, it was a new Doc Martens bag with a new Doc Martens box. And then I opened the box. I like looked around and I asked these two ladies who had shopping bags. I'm like, "Excuse me, are these your shoes?" And they're like, no." I looked at it, double take, took the bag. I was like, "Fuck it. You know, if no one's around, I'm taking this." I went into a restaurant where I was meeting a friend. I opened them up and I saw they were used. I'm like, but still pretty good, which is actually I kind of felt better because it's like obviously the person left them as trash and they didn't want them. My theory is that they bought a new pair of the exact same shoes and then they just put their old versions in the shoebox and then like left them on the street maybe for like a homeless person, but Gage got to them first, so dentless. But it really pissed me off because I listed them and was very transparent about what they were. I said more than minor wear on the shoes because the soles have been worn down. But Doc Martens, if anybody's who's owned Doc Martens, those shits last a long time, even through the most brutal conditions. As if you take care of them, especially. And one of them didn't have the insole that comes with it, so I just took the other one out, so they were uniform, so I could sell them as is. And I put in the description no insole, but on the inside of the tongue it also says what size it is. And I said, okay, size 12, which by the way is my size. And I've worn Doc Martens before. I know how the sizing fits and how they don't do half sizes. So you got to go down sometimes, you got to go up sometimes, you get a bigger insole, whatever. But it didn't have any insoles. And I wrote that in description. When I sell these things for $10 and then they covered the shipping, I got a refund a week later. They're like, these are bigger than a size 12. I've bought Doc Martens before. And I was like, okay, whatever. And I never question refunds. Almost never. I've never done it. I've had 3 so far. I just, okay, here you go. Here's the refund. I granted the request immediately. The thing that sucks, though, is once you grant a refund, you can't contact them after the fact. Or
That's
at least
really
I
weird.
couldn't. Because, like, then I tried going back in the notifications to find them, and I
Yeah.
couldn't find a way to contact them.
Oh, I just go to their profile and contact them through there.
But then I couldn't even find, like, it disappeared from my notifications.
That's really fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is a way, and I'm like, oh, I'm stupid, but whatever.
Yeah.
Because I want to contact them after the fact and still ask for positive feedback after the feed, you know. But then I was thinking about it later. I was like, it literally can't be bigger than a size 12. It is printed in the leather by Doc Martens, size 12. And then I was like, oh wait, the insoles are gone. And like, you wouldn't think an insole makes a much of a difference, but for Doc Martens, that's a good half inch. And when you remove a half inch from the bottom of your foot and your foot drops down another half inch into the shoe, there's going to be a lot of toe room there.
Yeah.
So it's like, after the fact, I'm thinking like, oh, duh, that's obviously what they did. They just like slipped their foot into it. And like, this is bigger than a size 12. But like, I included in the description there are no insoles. And it's obvious when you look into a bottom of a shoe that has no insoles, you can tell, you're like, wait, I shouldn't be able to see the stitching and like the felt and all this stuff underneath here. So that just pissed me off sometimes where people like don't read what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
One of my most like obscure refunds was like a still in package baseball game. You know, with a wireless controller and everything. This was like early 2000s, like very before Wii, so it was like, you know, very over the top. But then it was completely new, sealed in the package, and the woman said there was a problem with the cables, like that it wouldn't hook up to the TV. So I was thinking it might have to do with like she just didn't do it right. But again, without question, just give out that refund. Give out
Yeah.
that refund. Because what are you gonna do? Dispute it and be like, no, it does work. Let me go over to Tennessee and show you. It's like, you know what I mean? So that's the hard part about eBay. The great part is that
Yeah.
you have national and sometimes international scope of sales, but on the other hand, you can't also help them. You can't ensure that everything becomes 100% satisfaction.
Yeah.
Because if you're selling it to a friend, you're like, no, you just fucked it up, bro. Let me show you, and then you fix it for them. And they're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
keep your money.
I mean, there was a one item that I saw. I'm not gonna go into great description for it because it's like a little murky water. But there was one item, and then the customer asked a question. It was like a battery. It was an item that's like can hold a charge.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so they were asking. It was like, oh, like this thing is not turning on. Like, you know, did you ever use it? I was like, it's brand new, like plastic wrap
Yeah,
still
I
on
know.
it.
I even seen the pictures. Still had
Yeah.
that like factory sealed plastic.
Yeah, so I was like, no, like I never opened it, so there should be nothing wrong. But anyways, I told them, I was like, look, let it charge for 24 hours, and if it doesn't work, just let me know. And they never messaged me after that, so it obviously worked.
Because they died in a house fire set off by
I
the
know.
charging battery.
Exactly. So I mean, either way, I get to keep the money. So
And that's important. Scooping the bags.
yeah, but I feel like after a point once like we grow our eBays
Mhm.
and like our stores, I feel like there is going to be a time when I'm going to start questioning people. Not everybody,
No, yeah, for sure.
but like, you know, because you have to protect yourself too when it comes to
Yeah, for sure.
owning your own store. Like if you're accepting each and every request that comes in, like how much is that going to really hurt you? And on top of that, if the customer's not going to do their own due diligence, like on the flip side, like if a customer is not because he didn't read in the description that they had like no insoles.
Did you just assume their gender?
Oh,
I think-
they. Sorry.
We're canceling this.
I know, right? This is done.
YouTube algorithm's gonna shut
Sorry,
us
it just
down.
fell way to the right. But like for you, because the customer didn't read that there were no insoles,
Yeah.
so that's kind of their fault. But then on the flip side, with the Woolrich jacket that I sent, I didn't check that it had the rip in it,
Yee.
so that was my fault. So like, you know,
Yeah.
there's dichotomies to it.
The only difference is that you have to learn every time from that. So
Exactly.
And there's some things that are you know, when someone has set forth the complaint for a refund, they're not going to be happy anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But so maybe if I told the person, hey, remember how there wasn't any insoles, then they will be proud that like have their pride of like, oh, I read that, like I didn't even read the description, I just hit buy now or add to
Mhm.
cart, whatever, because it was $10. $10 is $10, whatever.
Mhm.
And now they're pissed because they don't work and they want to throw them away, but they want to get their money back. So it's like, whatever. And they sent me the shoes back too. It's like, at that point, just fucking keep them. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
when my refunds, I'm not gonna try to sell them to anyone else. I found them on the streets.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck am I gonna do with those? Like, so I don't know. But again, it's learning, and again, also not letting the negative shit get you down, because we
Definitely.
have like so many good purchases under our belts, and we should be very proud of where we are right now.
I always like to see, like every day when I wake up, I always
Yeah.
go and see how
Well,
many reviews I have.
It's coming up soon. Because remember
33. Let's go.
you're peaking, bro.
Sorry.
Remember I told you like every time you hit feedback?
Yeah.
That's
do
cute.
that. Wow. Thanks.
See, I got you on feedback, but you got me on
Where are you?
transactions. I think I'm like upwards of 35.
35. All right.
I mean, not that far away, but feedback updates in real time, but transaction numbers and I think it's
I'm
fun.
beating
I think it's
Gage.
hilarious that eBay will get around to telling you the statistics that they want to tell you, but then hold off on other shit. Like
Mhm.
they won't tell you in day to day in real time how many transactions you have,
Yeah.
but they'll sure as shit let you know how many refunds you have to make you feel bad
I know,
about it.
right?
Like,
Fuck.
dude, come on, stop bumming me out.
I know.
I have 3. You know, it fucks with your ratios too.
It does.
But we haven't hit top rated seller yet. But even then, dude, I mean, we're so fucking close, and we've barely started. If you excuse me, if you're talking about annually, we've barely started.
Yeah.
So, well into our, we're close. But you'll hear back from us. So next week you'll probably hear
April
back from us, looking at our dashboards to see how many transactions. Because
Yeah.
remember I told you the woman said that like the 20th of every month is basically
Oh, yeah.
when they update our dashboard. Because remember I told you I saw you in our coffee shop that we both work at. I
Yeah.
saw you and I'm like, dude, check your dashboard now. It's the 20th. And then you checked it. You're like, oh, this is my updated number. And I'm like, oh, this is my updated number. So we're getting there.
Okay.
We're in the
Cool.
70s. I mean, we're very close to that 100 mark. And once we hit that 100 mark, you'll probably see the email before you can even check your dashboard, to be
Ooh,
honest.
yeah. Sure.
Because the woman said you know, oh, you should be expecting an email soon. I'm like, oh, an email. And the email then sets you up to go into Top Rated Seller Plus, which, because we do 1 day shipping and handling, free 30-day returns, we're in the bag.
Yeah.
That 1+ is literally a half step already in the direction that we need to be, and we're already there. So it's golden. And beyond that point, we're awesome. Although I did some digging in the dashboard, and I found the solution to one of the more minor problems when it comes to accounting that we have kind of danced around. The idea that you like, well, how do I find the fees for each individual item? I can only count up my invoice at the end of the month.
Oh, I was able to find.
Okay, cool. Because when I went into my dashboard, I went.
It's way easier to find it on my desktop.
Yes.
Versus
So
on my
everything
phone.
with everything, yeah. I mean, because I was browsing through my browser on my phone and I found it, and so it must be super easy to find it on your computer.
Like at the end of the day, when I got any sales, if it doesn't apply to the competition that we're in, I don't worry about the fees. But if it's like something I sold that's in the competition, then I will write.
Oh,
down,
I thought
like,
we were excluding fees from the competition, but if not, I can include that too.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's
whatever.
like
Either
I
way,
don't
if
know,
we
it's like-
exclude it, or if we include it, it's gonna be equal to us.
Yeah,
anyways.
exactly.
But I mean, but then it's also just the 10% value fee, so it's not hard to remember.
Yeah,
10%.
of
Yeah.
$1, 10 cents.
You usually move the decimal point.
Yeah.
But so yeah, you know, we're hitting some trips along the way, but fucking life's full of fucking stumbles and falls.
Exactly.
It's about how you get up.
If it wasn't easy, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth it anyway.
What I think Gary just tweeted that, right? Gary V
Oh, yeah.
on his Insta, he like screenshotted a tweet of his, and it was like, if it was this was just after our argument with somebody I had about the welfare state and everything like that. I was like, if it's easy, it's not worth having, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if you don't have to work, yada yada. I don't fucking know, whatever.
Yeah. Anyways.
But yeah. I didn't bring my second camera, so we can't show in great detail the flips of the week. We can flash them for the GoPro.
I really don't have much
Yeah.
to show.
But I also
Even then, like that day when we had like our mishap pod, like I went to go thrift and it was like fucking busy as all shit, and like so many people, and I was like,
weekends
I don't even
are
wanna,
the fucking worst, dude.
That's why I always like to get there right in the morning, just to go thrift. Nobody's there.
Especially, dude,
they just had everything put out.
The Boston
Like,
Marathon is tomorrow.
I get the fucking.
There's so many fucking people, so many out of towners. The tea was stuffed to the gills when I was trying to go to Kenmore today. It was fucking
same.
ridiculous. And people who, and you're in the city, I can't wait to move to Atlanta so that I can like cool down my personality and just be nicer. Because everyone down there is so much more easygoing and just like, for the most part. Right now, I have that city edge to me, and I'm like, fucking get out of my way, where I'm willing to like
So
elbow
fucking
kids
annoying.
in the head.
Yeah. Yeah. Just fucking get out of my way.
Speaking of which, little like thing that I didn't pick up on the first time I watched Goonies was that Sloth wasn't born with a defect. He was dropped on his head.
Oh.
Because remember when they're on the pirate ship? Spoiler alert, by the way. Remember when they're on the pirate ship?
Anybody here? You have more than enough time to watch.
Well,
the
my
Goonies.
girlfriend hasn't seen it yet, so.
Well, you had more than enough time.
You
to
also
watch
wouldn't know
it.
who Sloth is, so this is so obscure it wouldn't be a spoiler anyways.
Yeah.
But
There's
when
no
the
point in
mother
getting
was
into it.
singing to Sloth, the
Yeah.
reason he freaked out in the song is because when the bow breaks, the baby will fall. And then he's like, no, baby doesn't fall. And then she's like, oh, honey, I'm sorry, I only dropped you once. And then she's like, well, maybe a couple more times. And I was
Oh
like,
my
oh,
God.
fuck. Because I just realized he wasn't, like, deformed when he was born.
Yeah.
He was dropped on his fucking head.
Shit.
That's what made him all fucked up.
All slothy.
Damn. Those movies
Jesus.
also so... Movies, okay, you know what? I was actually expecting, because I was going in with my girlfriend, who's seeing it with fresh eyes in, like, the 21st, in 2019 with, like, all SJW things abuzz. I was expecting there to be more, like, PC cringy moments in there.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like, not that bad. The woman stood up for herself against a guy who was, like, super molesty. You know, apart from, like, the character side, because
Yeah.
remember how Troy was, like, trying to adjust the mirror to see up her skirt, which then she fell for Thanos because forgot that Josh Brolin was in that movie. But you know what? I'm just going to parlay this. This is already going on too long. I'm going to parlay this into my movie recommendation of the week. Obviously, the fucking Goonies. If you haven't seen it already, please see it.
Goonies.
I was turned back into a child when I saw that movie. Such childlike wonder watching that movie again, especially on the big screen, which I've never got to see it before, and then especially with my girlfriend who's never seen it before, and seeing the movie through her eyes, just like for the first time, and hearing the laughs and like actually genuinely laughing at it as an adult. I forgot it was made by Steven Spielberg. It reinvigorated my inspiration
Amazing.
to make movies, because it was just such a fun, joy-filled, like, who gives a shit about the plot holes, about like the contingency of every little thing happening. These traps are still around hundreds of years after you know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit? It's a fun adventure about
Yeah.
a group of friends who want to stay together. It's so good. So
That's awesome.
Goonies, far and away.
All the way.
Goonies. Goonies never say die.
Nice. For my book recommendation, I actually picked it up when I was thrifting. Nice thing about being frustrated is like I can channel my energies as like, all right, something's wrong, like fix it, all right.
Yep.
And I was actually looking through some books, so
Hold for this is me narrating Eddie going to his bookshelf to pick off a hardcover red
remember
book.
when
Coming back to the mic, Eddie.
so I got this Dr. Phil book, Self Matters,
Yes,
and
bro.
it's about
Yes, fellas.
trying to just figure out your life and creating the life that you want to build and have, because the only limitations are the ones that you set for yourself. Boom. Another
You can't say boom yet. That's
Fuck.
our copywritten
Bam.
end to the.
bam.
That's our bing boom, bada bing boom pow. No, but I totally.
Listening to him
Nobody's
on,
gonna hear you. By the way, you got to get back to the mic.
shit. Listening to him on Joe Rogan, and I've always like heard about Dr. Phil and like seen some of his show episodes on the Dr. Phil show, and like he kind of goes into the, I guess if I'm using this word correctly, the ethos of like, oh haha, he's just a television personality, but in reality, like, he's an actual psychiatrist. He
Yeah.
knows what he's doing. So after listening to that Jerry podcast episode, and then stumbling upon that book, I was like, you know what, I want to get that book,
Yeah.
because
One of my favorite. Quotes,
you always got to study.
One of my favorite quotes from Dr. Phil in that podcast was, it sounded like some just throwaway, like, southern folksy, like, wisdom, but it makes sense towards what we're talking about, goal setting and stuff like that. He said that someday isn't a day of the week. And I was like,
Yeah.
damn, that's like some solid, straight up advice when you're talking to someone, like, oh, someday I'll do this, because it's also a good retort to when someone's like, dude, someday I'm gonna like build this like this media company that like consists of new innovative, and then you stop and like, whoa, someday ain't day of the week. Like, you're talking about something way off right now. Let's set some daily goals. And Joey Diaz was talking about this in one of his most recent podcasts too. That somebody he worked for right out of prison helped him, like, literally taught him how to write down goals.
Ooh, nice.
He's like, what are you gonna? He's like, before you get back, he was like a car seller.
I'm gonna tell you, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. Joe, you don't fucking understand it. Dude, I love Joe. I can't. It would be disrespectful for me to even attempt it. But he had somebody who believed in him, who didn't let him do his job. He's like, I want you to go in the office. I want you to set a daily, a weekly, and a monthly goal right now. Set a daily goal for yourself right now. Like, something that I know you can fulfill today. How many cars are you going to sell today? How many cars are you going to sell in this month? What are you going to do this month? Where are you going to be in a month? Like, had him, like, write it down. So we've talked about that a bunch. But
Yeah.
Dr. Phil, take him or leave him, but take
actually,
him,
You want
appreciate
to know
for
what
what he has.
crazy? So I'm finishing up now the this is a survival club by Ben Sherwood, and so one of the stories in there is actually about Dr. Phil's sister. It's fucking horrible, dude. She's like on a car ride with her daughters and her husband, and on the highway going to Oklahoma, somebody, like, perfectly, like, it's crazy, somebody threw at night a bottle of acid,
What the fuck?
and it landed perfectly and hit her on the passenger side.
Oh.
And it like melted her whole. It didn't melt her to the point where she died, luckily, but like it just hit her in the face, and she like went blind from. Well, she didn't go blind, but like it was just like just think about the whole situation. You're going like 60, 70 miles per hour in the fucking highway at night, and somebody throws a bottle of acid, and it just happens to get into the open passenger side window.
Yeah.
And fucking hit you square in the face.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I know that how random that shit is, but my dad drives for a living. He was driving near a golf course, and somebody winged a ball, and he drives in a van, and he kept his back window open. Or no, he kept the passenger window open, and the ball landed on the highway and then bounced perfectly to bounce back up into his passenger door, bounce off the roof, and then from there went like all random, but missed him. Like, God forbid if
That's
that
crazy.
ball like bounced then, because he was driving the car. Obviously,
Yeah.
awful what happened to his sister, but at least people in the car survived because
Yeah.
she wasn't the driver. If she was the driver, everyone would be dead.
Yeah.
Very fucking awful.
That
Very
would've
fucking
been
awful.
really shitty.
But my dad was driving the van. God forbid that golf ball made an angle choice somewhere on the roof. It would have hit him square in the eye.
Mhm.
Definitely. I mean, it already distracted him, but he's such a good driver. He like made sure he slowed everything down, got it under control.
Yeah.
But that's fucking crazy. Like shit was just random.
Yeah.
You think you're safe in this fucking metal shell.
Yeah, that chapter that story was told was about resilience and how like some people can bounce back from adversity and accidents and whatnot. And it was just so, I felt so bad because she had to get so many like reconstructive surgeries, especially around her face, and they were like when she was picked up by the ambulance and was being sent to the hospital, the only place they can find a vein to put the morphine was in her feet because she was wearing like closed-toed shoes. Like everywhere else was like melted and the veins weren't like visible enough for them. It was fucking crazy. But like after that she fucking bounced right back. She was like, you know, she quoted in the book, she's like, look, I don't know who my attacker was, and they never found out who that person was. But they were unable to pass legislation that made it illegal for people to do that. And then
Oh shit, by acid you mean?
yeah, by acid and fucking throw it in the highway.
Yeah.
And then too, she just like focused. She just went back to living her life. She's like, look, I have my girls, you know, I have my life ahead of me. They have their lives ahead of them, and I want to be a part of it. So like, I'm not gonna let that one thing, as bad and horrific as it was, be a reason to like stop like my will to live or to stop letting me live my best life.
Damn.
So, you know, resilience, man. You
Wow.
just gotta bounce back.
On that note,
Big Sean.
okay. This is Gage signing off.
This is Eddie signing off.
This has been Two Boys Podcast.
Boom.